Hello guys, this is Sarsija from IM Suchi and I'm here to talk about India's NBFC crisis. So over the past 3 years, several NBFCs in India have been dealing with bad news upon bad news, including a cash crunch, the high cost of capital and bad loans. They were performing better than the banks till 2017. However, in the second quarter of 2018, there was a decrease in their performance. This has severely affected the Indian economy, which was already suffering from rising NPAs, which is causing the twin balance sheet problem. And the banks lending to these NBFCs has caused a phenomenon called as the double twin balance sheet problem. So, what are NBFCs? Non banking financial companies are quasi banking institutions in India. They are registered under the Companies Act of 1956. They are allowed to make loans just like banks do. However, they're not allowed to take deposits from people in order to make these loans. Hence, the NBFCs borrow from other financial institutions. So, the key characteristics of NBFCs are they do not include any institutions whose principal business is that of agriculture activity, industrial activity, purchase or sale of goods, or providing any services and sale or purchase of construction of immovable property. These companies get NBFC license with the RBI, but they are regulated by different agencies based on the role they play, which is shown in the adjacent flowchart here. So NBFCs have seen a tremendous growth in the recent past, and there are close to 1,000 NBFCs in India. They also play a significant role in banking sector by increasing the penetration of financial products to unbanked areas, to rural and urban customers. It also caters to the need of infrastructure lending and to other areas where long-term financing is needed. So, coming to the background of the crisis, the financial issues faced by key NBFCs like ILFS and DHFL in the past have raised concerns and risks posed by NBFCs on the overall financial sector. So, ILFS played a risky game of borrowing money short term and lending it out long term, which caused the asset liability mismatch problem. The second one is the asset quality issue. The housing finance institutions have lent heavily to home buyers and the home builders uh, when there was a slowdown in that sector, and as a result, there was an asset quality issue. These crises faced by the major NBFCs lowered the credibility of NBFC sector, which created a difficulty for NBFCs to get credit, and this further pushed them into insolvency. In the backdrop of these issues, RBI has proposed a significant shift in its regulatory approach of India's NBFCs. So, it has proposed to move from a general approach of light touch regulation to more stringent regulation as it does with other banks. So, it created a four-layer regulatory framework, and the degree of regulation in each sector is proportional to the perception of risk in that sector. It has also proposed to change classification of NPAs base layer from 180 days to 90 days overdue. So, what would be the potential impact of these changes? These would provide a balance between flexibility of NBFCs and the potential systemic risk, which would help the smaller NBFCs to function with less regulations and control larger ones that pose more risk to the economy. And this would also improve trust and confidence in NBFC sector because of stricter regulations and early reporting of NPAs. This will also increase the transparency in the sector. So, the banking sector was in a turmoil in the past 2 years with issues with banks such as PMC Bank, Yes Bank, Lakshmi Vilas Bank, etc. So, a holistic reboot of oversight mechanism for NBFCs and banks is critical at this point of time to maintain the financial stability and also to ensure that the economic recovery is not hampered by this banking sector. Thank you.